How is everything in Dubai?
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
It's been a busy session now. I can see there's a lot of people who are going through difficulties, and this is a time, I guess, we need to take corrective measures, especially in our thinking.
Mm.
People are going through anxiety, there's fear, there's challenges, there is insecurity, and it is time they should look like Tanya, bright, as if the world is beautiful. When you look at you, there is brightness, and there is
Thank you.
that which is wonderful.
Exactly what we were talking before as well when we were live. We said this
Right,
negativity, just the self-talk, how people are talking, right? I remember when I came to
right,
your seminar for the first time, and the topic was, I will
right,
never forget this, don't fall in love, rise in love. How important is
right,
just
right.
put this together that people would understand even these negatives in the sentence that we are programming ourselves. Why would you fail when you are like falling in love, right? Rise in love. I love this sentence so much. I still have it written everywhere. So we can rise our
Yes.
like positivity, our level of energy. So what would you say today to our viewers, our followers, how to do that? Like how to even help others? Because sometimes it's really easy to feel good, but to share this,
Right.
to give to the people, sometimes it is exhausting and you are like thinking, for different kind of personalities, what kind of tips you can give? So what would you say like to everyone together, how to help, how to become like
The first is
super
correct. The first thing is that thinking positive may not guarantee great results, but thinking negative guarantees trouble, failure. Thinking negative guarantees failure, guarantees
mm,
trouble. Therefore, the only option we give ourselves is to think positive. When I say think positive,
mm,
mind is what, we have the physical body, the mind, and the intellect. The
yeah,
mind is where it creates all emotions, your impulses, your likes and dislikes, your insecurities. Intellect is the adult in you, is the mind is the child in you,
mm,
intellect is the adult in you, whereby you are able to think. Intellect is where you are able to reason, analyze, understand, come to a proper conclusion. Mind is where they say it's like it's fickle minded. They say there's a fickle minded. You can't make up a decision. It's
mm,
always it's a bit difficult. So they don't know which one to choose.
mm.
So that's the mind. Intellect is the rational thinking aspect. So what we need to do is, that's why we say having emotions is beautiful, but when you become emotional, it destroys you.
Yes.
Right now, people are becoming emotional.
And whenever
It
I
is, in
see
fact,
you, yeah,
come
sorry.
again?
I wanted to say, whenever I see you, I feel this peace. First time when we met, I was just talking, 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 talking for hours, right? And you were there, such a good listener, and you were just observing like how I'm opening myself up on your energy, which is actually there, so
Right.
calm and accepting and open to listen, which I'm always telling as well how important is to be open, to be a good listener. It's not just to
Correct.
giving advices, right? Sometimes it's so good just to be
Correct.
there and listen. Like I will never forget how you did this for me. It was amazing. And to be a good listener is being an expert. Like this is self-management
Absolutely.
expert. And to
It is.
tell people, how can you be always so calm? How was this situation as well for you? How did you manage yourself as well to just stay so calm always?
To be honest, I lived in an ashram for 5 years,
Mm,
where our day starts at 4 a.m. in the morning, goes till 9 p.m., 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then I was in the Himalayas for 3 years as well. So I am quite comfortable with myself. And
mm,
I mean, see, we have to, one is, this time, if you are not able to be with yourself, it is a sign that you are not self-sufficient. Self-sufficiency. It is the opposite of self-sufficiency is dependency. You're very dependent on the world of objects and beings for your peace, for your needs, for your happiness, for your pleasures. Right now, anyone who is very dependent on the world will find it very difficult to deal with life. Very difficult. It is those who are, and I'm not talking independent, those who are self-sufficient. Those who are self-sufficient, they can deal with themselves. And it is a very, see, as you mentioned, listening. There are two types, Tanya, hearing and listening. Many people hear, but very few listen. Hearing is the sound waves goes into you, but nothing happens. It's like you could be hearing is you set aside everything and fully listen. Sometimes when you listen to intently,
very good.
the need to be heard and understood is such an important need now. So even this morning I was intently listening, so much I could understand about myself. So it is that intent listening does wonders. You don't need to answer at all, just listen. You will understand the situation.
How much people, right, understands about themselves while they're talking, right?
Correct.
And they're making jokes from like going to the therapist and they're saying, but I was just talking, I didn't get any tips. You did so much with talking, right? If you really like just reflect on what you were talking and maybe take notes after, wow, they would have many realizations. In fact, right?
There are some people, they don't want any inputs, any suggestions. They want to be heard.
Yes.
It's like letting out what they have in their mind. And many people don't do it. There are very few people who do it, who can intend. One is listening. In fact, the more than anything, can you listen to your heart, your inner voice? Right now, Tanya, if you can listen to your inner voice carefully, you listen to your inner voice, it will give you certain hints which will be phenomenal. Your insecure, you come to know your insecurities.
This is the thing.
That's why I'm a big believer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying to my clients. They're saying, so what should I do now? I'm like, yeah, what should you do? And they're waiting and there is silence. And they're like, oh, okay. They get the answer while they're asking themselves. When they reflect, and actually we are just guiding them. Whoever is helping is me or you or therapist, life coach, whoever, just to guide them that they know how to listen themselves, their heart, exactly. And in this modern world, this is being expert when you know how to do that, right?
In fact, Shakespeare in his play in Hamlet, he says, "To thine own self be true." To thine own self be true. Thou canst not then be false to any man. He says, follow your conviction, which is a strong thought. This is what I want to do. Or follow your conscience, that inner voice, that little bird in each one of us which says, hey, go ahead and do it. Just go. Or don't do it. Everyone says, go ahead and do it. But within your voice, the inner voice says, no, that's not meant for me. It is anyone following their inner voice, let me tell you, Tanya, the regrets are less.
Yes.
Regrets are less. So, there are people that something told me I should follow it. You can't reason it out, but that's your inner voice. That's your inner voice, and inner voice you will never go wrong with your inner voice. Everyone have the inner voice, Tanya, but not everyone has an access to it because of the mind is too agitated right now. People's mind are agitated, frustrated, so they don't get to hear their inner voice. That's why I say after a while, I should have done that. Why? Your intellect, your thinking is available after the action. You could have spit out your anger against somebody. After action, it comes up. I shouldn't have done that. You yourself, you are regretting not others' action. Your own action you regret.
Exactly. And you should never regret anyways, right? You always learn the lesson. This is how you grow.
Correct. See, you can, all that I'm saying is there should be less regrets. That's what my suggestion to all my those attend my lectures. If your regrets are less in life, you are better off. If your regrets are more, you are in trouble. Because you have to deal with the regrets, not anyone else.
Exactly.
And some of the regrets
You put this on your shoulder.
could not be able to manage. Some of the regrets you may not be able to manage. Could be with somebody who's no more, or the missed opportunities. So that's
exactly. So what would you say? Because we always use this as well, being mindful, right? And not having mindful, but being mindful. So it means being more present in the moment, be aware of your thoughts. And this is how you can actually become an expert to listen to this inner voice, right? Not million inner voices, but one which is guiding you. So what would you say as a tip to our people who are watching us, how to become more mindful, even to hear this inner voice which is guiding you?
We can be mindful, that acute awareness will come and provided you're able to deal with the worries of the past, anxieties of the future, and the excitement in the present. Three avenues: the past, present, and the future. The worries of your past, the anxieties of the future, and your excitement in the present. If you're able to clip that and be present in that moment, you're very mindful. You're very mindful. In fact, you become so aware. Then what happens? The only thing which exists is a present moment. You're absolutely mindful. But now we could be sitting here. I tell the people who attend my lectures, your physical body is here, but is your mind there? Your mind may go to Las Vegas, or your mind may go to Moscow. You're sitting in Dubai, but the mind may go to Moscow. But the way you sit looks as if you are perfectly concentrating.
That is the pain, right? For anxiety, because we said today we will put this topic, fear and anxiety, because I really believe that whoever is not successful in each area of the life, being happy or just being in peace, having each value that they are value not fulfilled in the way that they would like, there is a fear, right? If they don't have the relationship that they would like to have, they have fear. If they don't succeed as they would like, there is fear. If they are anxious, they're living in the future, right? So it's always this fear.
Correct.
This brain's like natural, this emotion that we need to have to protect ourselves already like as a children. So it's normal, completely. It's brain's natural function to do that. But how to manage that is a question, right? How to manage this fear, as you said, really nice, not to become an emotion. It's okay to have them, but not to become fear, not to become any negative emotion, right? So it is this being present. Right. So what would you say? How to become more present, like with day, every day? What do you do, for example, to be every day so present, so here?
One, there are various reasons. And you want to deal with fear first, and then I'll get into it. Fear happens when there is an inability in you, or when you foresee a possible threat to your material wealth, physical health, or emotional well-being, or intellectual thoughts. There is a fear created. There's a fear. You perceive a possible threat. Therefore, there is a fear. Could be you may perceive a possible threat to a person may perceives a possible threat to his job. There is fear, and could be a relationship. There's a fear. So now this is one is fear, and the more there are reasons for fear. One is selfishness. The more selfish a person is, greater the fear. The more selfish a person is, the greater the fear, and wherever there is ignorance, there is also fear. Before joining online, I've never done this stuff. So, getting the VPN, other stuff, it took some time. Wherever there's ignorance, there is fear. But once you know, I've done on Zoom and all, it's much easier. So I'm saying where there is knowledge, there is no fear.
Mm.
A person may think, oh my God, there is a pain in the chest. Is that a sign of a heart attack? And then they rush to a doctor, and the doctor checks, and he asks you, what did you have for lunch?
Mm.
And he says, I had these things. I went for a buffet. I had all these things. It's just a gastric trouble. You just have these tablets, and make sure you have something very light. You'll be okay. Where there is knowledge, there is no fear. Where there is ignorance, there is fear.
This
So
is what you said earlier. I would stop there for a bit to reflect on this selfishness, right? Because we always talk about self-love, and people are really confused between these two words, selfishness and self-love. I would really like to have your opinion about that, to share with people that this is something completely different, right? So what is this?
Correct.
Yeah, please share with us.
Selfishness. Yeah, selfishness is you want the world of objects and beings to cater to you all the time. You want you like good say you like winter in Dubai. It's winter is for 2-3 months, and in 3 months you're okay. 9 months you're miserable. Selfishness means selfish meaning I want world to function in a way I think is right. You leave for work at 8 o'clock. You hate your traffic. You want one is selfishness. Is that selfishness is even in relationships? Why relationships doesn't work that well? Because both partners are selfish. Me for myself, me for herself. It doesn't work. The fundamental requirement in a relationship is unselfishness. Unselfishness. Unselfishness is the capacity to accommodate another person's interest. That is unselfishness.
This is an example. Some people are saying, but I gave so much of myself. And I say, did you really give because you wanted to give, or you wanted this appreciation for what you give, right? This is as well a big subject that we could talk for hours. Why do you give? Do you really give it hard, or for this selfish feeling to get something back, right? If you are in the zone of selfishness, you don't expect anything back, right? There is just love.
I agree with you. Tanya, I agree with you. That's why we have this workshop, Rise in Love, Don't Fall in Love. Those who say, I give too much, are they? I fall, they fall in love. It doesn't work. In fact, that should be a separate discussion. Why people fall in love and how you can rise in love. These are the things we should know, because what people call as love is not love at all.
There is fear. So much fear, right?
Correct. A caters to be at the material level, physical level, emotional level, intellectual level, and B says, I love A. I love him because he caters to me physically, emotionally, intellectually, materially. I love. The moment he stops catering to me, the so-called love fades away.
That's the thing, right? If you would just give, and you would never think about what you are receiving, what you're having in this relationship, you would be happy all the time. You just give. So it is up to you, right? What do I give to feel better? This, and that.
That's why attitude of caring, sharing, giving must prevail. Both partners, not just one.
Of course. But there should not be this fear. Do I give more? Should I give more, right? It's always this fear. Am I going to get this love back? Am I gonna get this attention back? Am I gonna get all this time back that I invested into relationship, and now relationship is over, and then again we come back to regrets, right? How can you regret any time that you share the person that you love? Even now, if you moved on, there was this nice time that you choose to have with this person, right? There is no regret. Exactly. So there is this fear that
See,
I see
Tanya,
that it's the wars, that it's stopping people and they get sick. They can physically get sick. Even the cancer, all these diseases are coming from the
correct, correct,
fear.
correct. I agree with you. See, I always say mental fitness is much more important
Mm,
than physical fitness. You
mm,
need physical fitness, but mental fitness is far more important than physical fitness. And in the Western world, people more focus on the physical aspect of it. Very few focus on the mental aspect.
mm,
And even in mental aspect, they directly jump to meditation. I would
mm,
always see meditation is a much more advanced stage. It's like, it's especially now, who are those people who are peaceful, happy? Number one, let me tell you, those who are working on their swadharma, meaning
mm,
their nature. I enjoy my work. My work is this self. How do you make this ancient wisdom available or you know, applicable in the modern times? That's my
mm,
forte,
mm,
and I've spent almost 20 years on it. And this is my work. And all that I'm saying is, anyone who's doing their nature, their passion,
mm. And
number one. Number two, they have not got their ego involved with certain people. Number two,
exactly.
I had a lecture yesterday, manage, control, and let go of your ego. And I wish you were there. It would have been nice. They would have learned. It is so. Number two, they have not got their ego involved. Number three, you are able to keep your expenses within your income.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your expenses are, you are able to keep it within your income. Number
The more
four,
you
in
fear
case you have
something, the more you
borrowings,
attract as well, right?
right, correct. And
Mm,
number four is, in case you have borrowings, you have very manageable borrowings. And always, and especially in this challenging time, those who are performing work which is not their passion, they're working just to pay the bills,
mm,
just to pay the bills. It is adding stress to their life.
mm,
Number two, they got their ego involved with their peers, with their higher ups or their friends. They're very insecure. Number three, their expenses are far more than their income.
mm.
And number four, they have borrowed money. See, if these four things are there, I mean, against you, how can you be peaceful? How can you be peaceful if only you are? That's why I firmly say each one, each one of us should do an activity which we absolutely enjoy. We are passionate about it.
Yes. But
I know you are
there,
passionate about coaching.
yes, just look at us, right? It's no expectation.
Yes,
We are just giving
correct,
here.
correct,
Like ego is gone. I am representing other coaches, other people who are ready to help. We are just here to share the awareness. And if there is
correct,
one viewer or just two or just three or whatever is happening there, we are just giving. So this is this
correct, correct,
thing that you are saying. When you
correct.
have this purpose of life figured out, wow, there is no fear. How many people will join? Are you gonna get any people to text you later? How many likes you're gonna get? You are just there doing the thing that you love, and that's it. It's just this
Correct,
peaceful
correct.
feeling. It's amazing.
Uh,
But what would you
Confucius
say
made a
to the
statement.
people? Because usually what we hear is, I cannot find the life purpose, right? They have this fear that they will never live their purpose. What would you advise them?
The thing is, everyone has this nature in them, this swadharma in them.
Hmm.
It is, you got to understand what prevents them from doing it.
Hmm.
Does money play a role in how you spend the day?
Hmm.
I'd ask them, does money play a role in how you spend the day?
Hmm.
Number two, uh, is there family pressures? Number three, are you following a herd instinct? Everyone is doing an MBA or software engineering, so you're also doing it.
Hmm.
Number four, there is a lazy thinking. They have not actually thought about it. They have not thought about it. And so these are some of the reasons. So if you carefully reflect, all of us have a distinct quality, and that's why you have to. I would suggest early part of the day spend some time on your thinking. What am I
Exactly.
most passionate about?
Mm,
There is a difference between a hobby and a passion.
mhm,
I may like collecting stamps, but that's not my passion. I like listening to music, but I'm not a person who composes music or sings. I may like going on a walk. I like to listen to music. So you got to understand. See, where does your mind naturally gravitate to?
mhm,
And they keep observing. And then, but let me tell you, you need a mentor. You need a life coach. Very, very important to help you guide through all these things. So you have to find that. So that becomes your purpose. So if
mm,
you can't find it, get the guidance of a mentor, a coach,
mm.
who will help you to deal with it in a better way. And
This is,
once you
well,
start
yes,
doing it,
this fear of, first of all, not finding the purpose, fear of not being accepted by others when you find the purpose, and then fear of not feeling worthy enough to do your purpose. I see this is the
correct,
worst
correct,
in these times. I am not worthy enough to do that. They find it. Wow, excitement comes, right? And then the fear comes over. As we said today, we are talking about this fear and anxiety. What if, exactly like you said, I'm not worthy enough to get the clients, not worthy enough to earn enough, not worthy even to get the money for my service, so I'm not worthy to get this, right? And there is so much fears about
correct,
this worthiness, not being worthy enough. This is a
correct,
major, major
correct,
problem. Mm,
right. See, those who have this fear of not worthy enough
mm,
get into this inferiority complex.
mm,
Inferiority complex. Even nobody likes me, nobody loves me, I'm not good enough. This kind of a fear of unworthiness creates a complex, an inferiority
mm,
complex. That's why. So it is. So they need to work on them so that, see, more and more you function on the mind. We say the mind is a child, intellect is the adult.
mm,
You allow the child to take care of the home, it will mess up the home. We allow the mind to take care of our life, it's messing up our life.
mm,
The more you use the intellect, the adult in you, it says, what does adult say? The intellect says, face what you fear. Avoid,
exactly. I
avoid
always
what you
say,
fear, fear grows.
yes. Thank.
Avoid what you fear, fear grows. Face what you fear goes.
And when you overcome
And
once, you
repeat it.
overcome twice, and maybe third time, you're still gonna be afraid. Fourth time, maybe still, but
Correct,
the fear will disappear, right? Eventually, you need to overcome
correct,
it, facing it, not avoiding it. It's same with stress.
correct.
People are avoiding stress when
It is
they've been, I don't know, stressed too much. With avoidance, you don't solve a problem. With facing it, you starting the progress,
correct.
right?
You transcend fear.
Hmm.
You transcend fear once you face. See, that which you avoid starts controlling you, and
Mhm.
that which controls you starts creating fear in you. Whatever you avoid controls you, and that which controls you creates fear in you. And once you are under the spell of fear, extremely difficult, extremely difficult. Once you come under the spell of fear, they say,
Mhm.
nah, there is an expansion for the word fear. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real.
This is the thing now in
So,
Dubai. I see so many people joining us from Dubai right now, and this is what I would like you to say as well to these people because they're afraid. Now they're gonna lose the jobs or they're not working. And in Dubai, we all know that it's not like easy to survive, and they're in this survival mode, right? And when you go to this survival mode, everything just goes down. So how to climb out
right, right,
survival mode because people are really afraid there now how to even leave the country, how to survive, where to get the work. And I always say as well, question yourself like, what would you do if you were not afraid? You would find a solution, right? So from my side, the tip is as
correct,
well as questions yourself in the positive way, not what will happen if I'm gonna be jobless, what would happen if I wouldn't
correct,
be like afraid to get a job, to get a new opportunity, right? So that's really from my side. I think
correct,
it's so important to start looking already in your mind for solution, right? Not focus just on what
correct,
is not
correct.
going well. So what would you say to these Dubai people? I have that I see that we have so many of them here. So I think they really need advice, like how to move on from this fear of this survival mode.
It is, one is have faith in yourself. Number one, the moment you lose faith in yourself, the fear multiplies.
Yes.
Faith is you are designed for much greater things. That faith should be there. Number two, deal with your expenses carefully. Deal with your expenses carefully. And when you lose faith, even the enthusiasm goes away with it. When you lose faith. So it is, that's why I'm a big believer that you should have that self-belief that you will do well in life. You are cut out for bigger things in life. So that is an essential. That's one. How do you get it? If you don't have it, you see, the moment you lack faith, there is insecurity, there is fear, there is a lack of enthusiasm. So anyone who has faith, faith is what? The faith is a belief that things will be better. You can't reason it out, but things will be better. So this is where I'm saying following your passion helps. If you are and if you are less egoistic, it helps. See, right now, those who are following the passion, it helps them immensely. Immensely, it helps them. Those who are not following their passion, it is where there will be a difficulty. So you could be in Dubai, you could be in New York.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. It is how well you're dealing with your mind. If you allow your mind to take over your personality, it will create emotions. It will go into the fear of the future, the anxieties of the past, the fear of the future, and all these things will come in and disturb your present state of mind. You can't concentrate. You can't be yourself. You can't enjoy your life. So bring in the intellect. Intellect says, look, your past is past. Right now, it is a time to take fresh stock of life. Can I follow my passion? Even if it means a few months, a couple of months, it will be different. Can I follow my passion? And then give yourself 6 months, 9 months. Give you 100% to your passion, to that innate interest in you. I'm telling you, in a year or so, you will be happy you followed it.
This is the problem as well. As you said beautifully, but people are not then, they are maybe passionate, but they don't have this patience. So it's like, if it's not done tomorrow, I'm done. If it's not done in a week, that's not for me, right? This is the worst then, to have the tolerance and passion as well. It's not just being passionate, right? Patience. How important is that in the progress of evolving something? Wow.
It is patience, meaning you can give in your 100% effort and wait. And wait. You have to develop this patience and tolerance. So what we may find it for some people is difficult because the mind is too strong. The mind is like, see, it's like right now, a person is going through challenging times. It's like a child you're expecting a child to sit quietly in a lecture. It's impossible. It is the adult. Now we have to bring in the adult and say, okay, whatever has happened has happened. There's a beautiful idea. It says between a stimulus and a response, there is a space. And in that space lies your power to choose. And in that choice lies your growth and freedom.
Wow.
Between a stimulus, between an input, stimulus, and your response, stimulus from the world and the response from you, there is a space. And in that space lies your potential capacity to make a right choice. And with that choice arises your growth and freedom. Growth is what? You become a better individual. Freedom from what? Freedom from all the mental agitations, all the stress and strain. So between what the world offers you and your response, there is this gap. There is the space. In that space lies your potential to make a right choice. That's why I say we live by choice, not by chance.
Bravo,
No, we
exactly.
not by,
But people love to play a bit of victims. This is how my life is. I can turn around. This is the circumstances, environment, the family. They always blame others, right? They don't take this responsibility with them because this is the easiest way to do.
correct,
Like hands
correct,
here,
correct,
and it's like I'm a victim, right? So even about this
correct.
identity that they are becoming because they're choosing to be, we could talk hours about that. But what you said really, really good. You
Yeah.
said this fate. So let me just share one example that it really moved me. It was like 2 years ago, I think. I had a session with one of my clients that she was fighting with cancer for years. I think it was even more than 10 years. And we did 2 or 3 sessions.
Okay.
And she said, we finished third one, which was fear then, yeah, third one. And she said, you know, I did overcome fear now. And before I had fear already as a kid that I will get cancer because my grandmother died from cancer. And she believed as well,
Okay.
she knew that she might got sick because of this fear inside of her. And then it's a bit hard even to talk about it, but this woman, she died after this session in a couple of days. And before she died, she said to me, Tanya, you know why I know I will die? She told me, she said, I want to survive my birthday. After birthday, I just want to sleep. And this is how it happened. She created how she wants to in her mind. And what she said before she died, a couple of days before we were talking, she said, Tanya, you know what will put me there? Faith. She said, I don't have any faith. I never had faith. And I know that this will kill me. And I am choosing to accept that. And it's good at least that I got rid of the fear that I will die. I'll really soon. Like she was done with fighting with that. But she didn't have this faith. She said, I know that faith would help me to overcome this. I just need faith. And she said, I never believed in God. I never believed in the universe, in this magical power. And consciously, she knew she just needs to have faith. But unconscious mind was so like stubborn that she was like, I know that faith would help me and I don't have it. So I really think that it's so important for people to understand how faith is important. Like people are knowing about placebo effect, right? But they don't know about nocebo effect usually. That you can reprogram yourself for the negative as well. With fear, you can program yourself for all the negative circumstances, situations, people around you, that they're just reflections of your fear. If you fear you're not gonna get like nice partner, this is what you're attracting. Whatever you fear, you attract, right? So that's why it's so important that today we are talking about it, that people need to learn how to become their self-management experts as you are, right? It is so important.
Absolutely. It is. You know, the two aspects you mentioned, I'm glad that you have such wonderful service to that lady and you eased her eventual transition. And fear, and see, this is not taught in the schools or universities. You know, our parents don't teach us because maybe they are not, their parents didn't teach them. So we have to learn through experience, and at times it's too difficult to learn through experience. So it is essential that we spend some time, deal with our fears, and faith is a necessary element in us. Should be. If you do, imagine in a relationship, if there is no faith, you will suspect everything. Why is he talking for such a long time? With whom? There is a, so that faith is essential, and faith in your own work, that what you're doing has great future.
Yes.
That faith should be there. If I find the work I do has phenomenal future and is meant for all humanity.
And this might not happen, as we said, straight away, right? It's so good what you said, like faith in the work, because nothing happens over the night. Nothing happens over the night. Like it was amazing quote I saw like a couple of days ago. Someone posted for Beyonce, like she was preparing 8 months for something that she presented on the stage in 2 hours. 8 months for 2 hours. This is how this works, right? But she knew that it's gonna be amazing and it's worth it. When you know the outcome that you want to get, there is this motivation.
Absolutely. So, and that's why many times fear is your imagination.
Exactly.
Imagination.
It's fake.
It's not there. That's why what you fear, you may tell your partner or your, it says, what are you fearing? For what? Why are you fearing? It is like in the scriptures, a boy treads on a rope, falls over a rope, and he thinks it's a snake he has fallen over, and he's terrified. And the father says, no, that's a rope. No, Dad, I saw there's a snake. It is coiled. It is black. It is gray in color. It's a snake. He imagines to be a snake, but it was dark. Now he puts on the light, and he says, what you thought of a snake is a rope. And now the same son, he laughs. Oh my God, unnecessarily I was suffering.
But how many times?
That's why the moment to bring it,
you just shift, right? Same with phobia. You are living the fear from the past for years because of one event that it happened in the past, and you are still living this event from the past. So that's why I always say, yes, with NLP, whatever we do, we go to the timeline, you find this root cause, you move on. But as you said, amazing, you can start living and just reprogramming your mind to be more present. So more you are present, less you are living in the past. So the trigger cannot come so fast if you are present of this moment right here and right now.
Right.
And people are saying this all the time. Yeah, but I'm here. And as you said, yeah, physically, where is your mind? Everywhere else, but not here, right?
Correct. That's why it is so very important that we deal with our mind properly. There's a great philosopher, Swami Vivekananda. He said, conquer your mind, you will conquer the world. Fall a prey to your mind, you become a victim of the world. And John Milton, in his epic Paradise Lost, he says, your mind in its own place can make a hell out of a heaven or a heaven out of a hell. It's all in your mind, it says. Heaven or hell are not geographical locations. It's a state of mind. Your mind in its own place can make a hell out of a heaven or a heaven out of a hell.
Wow, beautiful. We could talk about the mind as well, like for hours now, how it's important to have this mindset of positivity. So maybe next time for that, because this live is just for 1 hour, so we need to finish in like 5-10 minutes.
Right.
So yeah, what would you say the main tool for the end for all our followers that are joining us now? What would you say the main thing that it's so important to remember? What would you say?
Number one, understand at this point of time, we need to have emotions, but let's not become emotional.
Bravo. Yes.
When you're emotional, your own clarity is not available to you. When you're emotional, your own thinking, your potential is not available to you. Then you will give in to regrets. So don't give in to regrets. In the sense, have emotions, but don't become emotional. It incapacitates you. And then develop your intellect. Work on your intellect. Take in some knowledge, reflect on it. That we know it's like mind. Yeah, reflection. See, not many people take in and reflect on higher values of life. Right now, in this challenging time, if we can recast our values, we will be better off. Recast your values, and then see, value something you associate importance to. Let's say the work, relationships, physical health, material wealth, friends, society, holidays, all these. Set your priorities right. We always say, don't prioritize what's in your schedule. Schedule your priorities.
Bravo. Wow, this is beautiful set. Exactly. So this is the thing, guys. Look at this now, okay? we spoke so many times, right? I'm coming to your seminars. I am taking this as well, knowledge for more than 10 years. I'm still making notes, guys. Reflect, take the notes. Don't think you know everything. Never. This is what is life
Correct,
about.
correct,
Growth, listening,
correct.
growing personally. Like this is what you said is so important, this reflection. In the end of the day, if you didn't like how your day was going on, you can just say and reflect in the end, but what would happen if it would be differently, if I would react differently, how would I feel then?
Correct.
You can just do
Correct.
reflection, just put on the paper or think about it, but if I would react this way, how would I feel? So to reflect your day or your week, or even just once per month if you're doing it for the beginning, it's amazing. But people are just on this run all the time, right? They don't sit with themselves, they don't reflect. Even with partner, to have these reflections, like
Correct.
but 1 hour per week and say, let's reflect this week. What could we do to make it better? What would I do to
Right, right.
feel
Absolutely.
better, right? I cannot make anyone to feel better, but in the way that maybe something I didn't do it right. So you start to open like each other and their emotions, their reactions, and if you don't talk, you cannot grow, right? So that people start to
Absolutely.
open themselves, because I have so many clients, they come to me and they say, I could never say this to my wife. I could never say this to my kids. I'm so happy that Tanya is here to listen to me. I'm like, when did you last time speak openly with your wife? They cannot even remember. And it's so important
Correct,
to
correct,
start
correct.
with something small. It doesn't matter that you're gonna become guru in 1 week to start working on your
Correct,
mindfulness, right? But slowly, slowly to do some
correct.
steps that you think is the best for you, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, there's so much to be learned about life. They say life is an art, is a technique. Nobody understands living as a technique that you have to learn and practice it. And my master used to say it's like playing golf. So
Yeah.
there's a beautiful golf course, and there's all the golf kit is there, but you need to learn to practice playing golf. So it is just because it's there, it doesn't mean that you can play. You need to learn and then practice and then enjoy the game.
Exactly.
Similarly,
With
life is that.
meditation, people say, oh, I tried to meditate, it didn't go through. What it didn't go through, right? What are you talking about? I'm like, it's say with the muscles in your brain, you need to train. Say when you go to gym, you don't get muscles next day, right? You need to train your
Correct,
mind.
correct, correct,
If you've been stressed
correct,
for 10 years and you didn't reflect, maybe first time when you will reflect, you're going to be even more confused. People go to yoga, for example, the
correct,
first time they get scared and it's like, I felt something here. It started to choke me. Yeah, maybe you first time you felt your body and mind connection. And you need to train yourself, not getting a heart attack from it, but just to accept your body, mind, and soul, everything together. It is a journey. So when people are saying now in this
correct, correct,
time, I'm bored, I'm like, I have so much to do about myself, to reflect, to work on, to living my purpose. Like, if you just start
correct,
working
correct, correct,
set, it is the technique as well
correct,
to
correct,
live the life. Wow, you will never be bored.
correct.
Never.
Therefore, the suggestion is you need to work on recast your thoughts, renew your perception, work on yourself daily. It's like yoga or running or weights. You got to work on your thoughts and emotions. I'm a big believer. Without improving the quality of your emotions and thoughts, nothing about our life improves. Nothing about our life improves. I can write it down and tell you. Without improving the quality of your emotions and thoughts, our life is not going to improve. The moment you improve your quality of emotions and thoughts, everything about our life improves.
Bravo.
So
Exactly.
that's the
Each
suggestion.
emotion is energy, guys. Don't forget, we are body with emotion. Emotional body is part of you. It's not just physical. and you are getting all this energy, and it's a reflection from outside what you feel inside. So as you said, great, what you feel inside is so important, because life around you will start changing, or if not, even the situations around you, your perception about that. Like now, okay, this is happening. Yeah, it is not easy for people, but if your perception on that is from the positive side, there is not a problem. You just take the positive.
Absolutely.
It's again the training. I'm doing this for 10 years, and still sometimes it's not easy. But as you said, every day people go to spa and they're like, oh, I did something for myself. Every single day, like you go to work, like you brush your teeth, like you hug your kids. This is how you need to hug yourself and do something about yourself every day for yourself, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like you cleanse your body every day.
What
You
about
got to cleanse your mind every day. You got to cleanse your mind every day. It is you need a mind cleansing.
So, okay, now let's finish, because it's gonna be 1 hour. For this mind cleansing, what would you say? Like one quick tip, what is the best to do every day, at least for a bit, to clear the mind? Let's forget now meditation, because people get already scared, like, oh, I need to meditate. I don't know how to meditate. What would you say? How to be a bit more still with a small step?
There is a great message. It says it is difficult to find happiness within oneself. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. It is impossible to find it anywhere else. All our life, people are trying to find happiness everywhere else except themselves. Therefore, they are in trouble. That's the reason the insecurity, the fear, the anxiety. They are trying to find happiness everywhere else except themselves. What they say, it is not easy to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. That's why I'm saying, the more and more you try to find happiness within yourself, fear is manageable. Anxiety can be handled by itself, and faith would be stronger. So because there's a lack of happiness, there is fear. You don't enjoy work, you don't enjoy relationships, there's fear, there's anxiety, there is no faith how my life is going to be. But the more and more you work on yourself, as I mentioned, it is not easy. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but impossible to find it anywhere else. The moment you start finding it within yourself, through work, through relationships, through your health, through your wealth, through the society, I mean, it'll be a beautiful life. And even a challenging, so-called challenging times are manageable, much more manageable. That you will recast yourself in such a way that you come back with a bang. You come back in a better way.
Wow.
That's the idea.
Amazing. So guys, if you understood this, like when you start managing your mind just in the way that you are already more still, the emotions will start managed by itself. You don't need to go there and be like, okay, now I need to manage the fear, I need to manage the sadness. It won't come up anymore like this, because it is manageable by itself. Your body knows what it needs to do. But if you don't have this still mind, you have so many thoughts and you're just like all over the place, you cannot have any technique to help you. Not any coach, anyone. If you don't start working on this step first. Exactly. And you just said it's not one step. It's the journey. It is the journey, and it's never ending journey, guys. It's not like, oh no, I will work on that for like 2 months and I will be fine, or 5 years, or even 10 years. Never ending journey. That is life about, right?
Absolutely. Without doubt. I'm glad.
That was such an amazing mindful clock, as we are calling it here, and 1 hour is gonna be over like in 2 minutes. So thank you so much for being here, sharing your positivity, your wisdom, and I hope I see you soon again, live like this, to share our
Definitely. Sure. We will do it on Rise and Love, Don't Fall in Love. or
We
on
will do
attitude,
that.
something
Let's do
very
it. I love
pertinent
it.
and important. Thank, thank you,
Thank
Tanya. Thank you
you.
very
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you.